This conference will now be recorded.
Let's begin with non-leading ledger today. Any ledger, any currency that you want to create in SAP S/4HANA, there is only single transaction code, which is your FINSC_ledger. Okay, this is the only one T code wherein you can update the currencies of your company code and ledgers of your company code. Both leading and non-leading are executed in the same transaction code FINSC_ledger. Now, what I am going to do here, I am going to define a non-leading ledger. For that, let me access this FINSC_ledger, log into SAP. FINSC_ledger. Okay, when you're on FINSC_ledger, your intention is to create a non-leading ledger. Do not copy any ledger for creating a non-leading ledger. Clear? Be very specific with this point. Never copy an existing ledger to create a non-leading ledger. If you are creating a non-leading ledger by copying an existing ledger, you are doing a mistake. Okay, so always go click on a new entry. But before I click on a new entry, before that, let us check if our desired 2-digit non-leading ledger code is available or not. For Dell, we thought that we will create DL, Dell ledger. Let me go to D series. So there is already a ledger called DL. DN is also there. Okay, so I'll simply put D1 as our non-leading ledger. So go to new entries. But this problem comes only in your practice servers. But when you're on a real project, none of this will be there except your system predefined leading ledger. You will have that freedom to select whatever the 2-digit code that you want for your ledger when you're in a real project, because no practice data will be there on it. Here you'll have to compromise in certain things just because this is a shared server. New entries. Let's assume that we are creating D1. Now remember, if you create a non-leading ledger called D1 or any 2-digit, this will be common for all your company codes. The way you're telling, if you have 5 company codes, if I ask you what is the leading ledger of 5 company codes, your answer is only one, 0L for all 5 company codes. Is that correct? 5 company codes
Yes.
will use same leading ledger. In the similar way, 5 company codes will use the same non-leading ledger. Okay, you're not going to create 5 different non-leading ledgers. Instead, you will be creating only one non-leading ledger, assigning 5 company codes to your non-leading ledger. Okay, so I'll put D1. I'll say DEGR, non-leading ledger. Enter. For non-leading ledger, nothing is needed. You just put ledger code description. This is not a leading ledger. I'm not ticking this. If you tick, this becomes leading. If you don't tick, this becomes non-leading. And ledger type is predefined standard. What is extension ledger? We will discuss later on. And extension ledger type, we are not using this as an extension ledger. So this is always a standard journal entries. This is not underlying ledger for any ledger, which means you're not copying data from any ledger. And nothing is needed. Only 2 parameters, ledger code and ledger description. will give you a proper non-leading ledger. Give these two, click on save first. Enter. Enter. Now the moment I created a ledger, I clicked on save, there is a message coming. Ledger group D1 is created only with ledger D1. So ignore this. We have just created a ledger, non-leading ledger with D1. When you create any new ledger, system automatically creates the same code as ledger group. Okay, you don't have to specifically create a ledger group. Your ledger is automatically treated as a ledger group in SAP. Say okay, this is giving an information that system has also created ledger group with D1. Okay, now non-leading ledger is created, assuming you have 5 company codes or n number of company codes in your organization. You are going to create only one non-leading ledger. Create your non-leading ledger. If you just move this a little right side, you will find two settings: company code settings for the ledger, accounting principle for the company code. First thing that we have to do is we need to assign our company codes to this non-leading ledger. If you have 5 company codes, you'll have to add 5 company codes. If you have only one company code, add only one company code. The way you are adding your first company code, the same settings exactly are applicable for all your company codes. What I am going to do here is select the non-leading ledger, double click on company code settings for the ledger. If I double click here, you will get the list of company codes here. Currently no company code is assigned with non-leading ledger D1. Add a new entry. When I click on new entry, it is asking me to input company code. What I am going to do, I am going to assign my company code. The moment I put my company code, let's see what information system is populating. Our company code is what? DEIN. I'll put DEIN. I'll hit enter. The moment I hit enter, sudden information is auto-populated. Fiscal year variant is coming, posting period variant is coming, company code currency is coming, group currency is coming. From where local currency is coming? This is coming from your company code OX15. And from where your group currency or global currency 30 is coming? This is coming from your controlling area. Now, these two currencies are directly coming from company code and controlling area. If you see this fiscal year variant, it is picking K4. This K4 fiscal year variant is by default coming from your leading ledger. Anything that you are assigning to your company code is representing leading ledger. Currently, for your company code, there is Jan to December fiscal year assigned. That fiscal year is by default coming into your non-leading ledger. Similarly, your posting period variant DEIN. This is also assigned to your company code. Anything that is assigned to your company code will represent leading ledger. By default, the system is transferring data from leading ledger to non-leading ledger the moment you put your company code and hit enter. Now, according to our requirement, do we need non-leading ledger for Indian company code fiscal year as Jan to December or April to March?
April to March.
You want April to March. You have to change the fiscal year variant here. For April to March, what is the standard fiscal year variant? V3.
V3.
Put this V3 here. Okay, this is just giving a message. We know that we are changing the fiscal year. Okay. Next one, posting period variant. DEIN is created to control your leading ledger posting periods. For controlling non-leading ledger posting periods, you need to create one more posting period variant. Before we save this, before we assign it, open one more window. Create posting period variant screen OBBO. Add a new entry. First one when we created it with company code DEIN and you put DEIN posting period variant leading ledger. This here I'll put DEIN posting period variant D1. I'll put DEIN posting period variant D1. D1 I am representing my non-leading ledger. Here I'll put DE D1. Okay. I'll put DED1. You can put any 2 digits of your choice. Any 2 digits of your choice you are going to put for your non-leading ledger. So I have put DED1 because we had only one company code. If you have multiple company codes, you can design any logic to identify this is your company code. These are the posting period variants. Let's save this. Now we created second posting period variant with DED1 representing non-leading ledger. Now once you create posting period variant, next option is to assignment. To do the assignment, what we did, OBBP. In OBBP, if I go to company code DEIN, there is already one posting period variant. Now in the last session, we discussed anything that you are assigning to your company code. Is this representing leading or non-leading?
Leading, sir.
Leading.
Company code assignment is representing leading ledger. But now what we are doing is we are doing another posting period variant mapping for non-leading ledger. Anything related to non-leading ledger will be assigned directly to the non-leading ledger. Because if you change from DEIN to DED1, leading ledger will become DED1. Non-leading ledger you have to change the assignment. Now tell me, should I assign this second posting period variant for company code or for non-leading ledger directly?
Leading ledger
Non-leading.
directly.
We'll have to assign this directly to the non-leading ledger. I'll come here. If I open the drop down, I must find DED1. If you are not able to find DED1, which means when we are on this screen, DED1 was not there. Right? When we are on this screen, we created it. Data is not refreshed. I'll try to press enter once. And let me try to open this. Still this is not reflecting. So what I'll do, I'll save this first as it is. Enter, just come back one level. Come back, reopen the screen so that the data will get refreshed. It will display the new posting period variant that is created. Enter, our new non-leading ledger was D1, select D1. Take this, go to company code settings, enter. Here fiscal year variant is correctly showing April to March. Posting period variant, we need to update DED1. Now is this showing DED1? Posting period variant D1 ledger. Tick this, press enter. Now at ledger company code level, are we able to assign different fiscal year, different posting period? Correct? Similarly, for any other company code, let's say if you are using D1 for Australia company code, here in this D1 Australia company code level, you are going to put your July to June or June to May fiscal year variant, the respective posting period variant. At company code level, with non-leading ledger combination, you are going to do the different company code assignments. Okay. Now next one, for this we have to assign accounting principle. This non-leading ledger for company code DEIN we are using for the purpose of Indian Companies Act. Click on this accounting principle, add a new entry. We have created Dell Group ICA accounting principle DGIC. I'll put this, hit enter. This is Dell Group Indian Companies Act accounting principle. If I go back to company code settings again, this is what it shows. If you have a requirement to add multiple currencies, let's say currently we are using only two currencies, company code currency, group currency. If you have any additional requirement to add further currencies, you can click on this plus currency here or add next currency. You can put currency code and the respective currency will be automatically assigned to your company code. Clear? We will define the additional currencies later on, because first we have to understand the basic functionality with group currency and company code currency. If you understand this logic, this is simple and straightforward. I am going to save this now. Save, enter. Okay, this is how we create a non-leading ledger and we assign the respective fiscal year, posting period and accounting principle to it. Any doubt in this non-leading ledger creation?
Can we add multiple accounting principle under one ledger?
You can add. You have the option here, right? But you will be adding more than one accounting principle only for the asset accounting purpose. Otherwise, strictly one accounting principle.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we need to assign this to the ledger group, this accounting principle? Is that necessary?
No, that is necessary only for the asset accounting point of view.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is your non-leading ledger creation and your fiscal year, posting period, currency assignment to it. Is this confusing or simple, straightforward to understand? Non-leading ledger creation.
Simple, sir.
Right. So if you
Actually,
have
sir,
additional,
So
go ahead.
can I ask? In this screen, the screen which we are showing, we are getting, there is a field called accounting principle. Okay, and on the left hand side also there is a field accounting principle for ledger and company code. What is the difference between these two fields?
If you are using only one accounting principle, you can directly put this here.
Okay.
Okay, I can directly put, what is that? DGIC. I can put here also.
Okay.
Okay, this represents your main accounting principle used for this. But as I said, for the asset accounting purpose, we will be using two accounting principles to meet the asset accounting prerequisites. This is your main accounting principle used for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, one question, sir. Sir, if
Yes.
we have like 5 company codes in 5 different countries with the same group, will be creating one non-leading ledger only, or else will be creating sufficient for the 5 company codes?
One non-leading ledger only. Here, if you see D1 non-leading ledger, DEIN company code. Let's say you have another company code. I'll be adding another company code. Let's say DEUS. Ledger is changing or ledger remains same? Ledger is remaining same.
Yes, sir.
Ledger is the same. Company code is changing. For this company code, you put your fiscal year variant, you put your posting period variant, you put your accounting principle. Let's say this is using GAAP. Now at company code level, you are able to change the complete information of the ledger.
Yes, sir.
Right? If company code is Dell India, fiscal year is different, posting period is different, accounting principle is different, currencies may be different. But if it is Dell US, Fiscal year, posting period, accounting principle, currencies may be different. Similarly, Dell Australia or any other company of Dell or any of your country, depending on your country, you are going to change all these parameters. But under same ledger, we are not going to create separate ledger for each company code.
Got it.
Clear?
Sir, at the reporting level, if we need to extract the report from non-leading ledger, means will be identifying with the help of company code only.
Correct. Because when you are posting any transaction, you are going to post the transaction at company code level. If your transaction is posted at company code level, your report is also extracted at company code level.
Clear, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sir, if we want to check that how many company codes have been assigned to one non-leading ledger, then we have to check that.
Here only you will check. I'll come back from this. No. Let's say FINSC underscore ledger. Now first what I will show how we are going to check how many company codes are assigned to leading ledger. If you understand how the number of company code assignment is seen at leading ledger, it is 100% the same. You are going to check for your non-leading ledger. I am going to select the ledger for which I want to check the company codes. Just come and click on company code settings for the ledger. It will give you the list of company codes. Assuming this is your non-leading ledger, you are using 5 company codes. It is going to display 5 records only. At each record, you will be able to see currencies, global currency, if there are any additional currencies, fiscal year, posting period variant. Accounting principle is not there. Accounting principle you will be able to see when you go inside.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you go to our non-leading ledger, since we are using only one, if you open D1, click on company code setting, directly it will show the list. But the moment you put second company code, it will not display this screen. It will give you the list of company codes. You need to double click on it to come to this page. Since there is only one record, directly this is giving you this screen. Okay. All right. Come back. Now this is your non-leading ledger creation. In this, what we have to mention, we'll have to mention fiscal year assignment. Next one, posting period assignment, group currency assignment, and additional currency assignment. Next one, accounting principle assignment. This is what we need to check from the non-leading ledger. First one is your fiscal year assignment. If I open this in non-leading ledger, first thing is your fiscal year assignment. Next one is your posting period assignment. We have listed fiscal year, posting period. Next one, group currency, additional currency, accounting principle. We come here, group currency, additional currencies, accounting principle. Anything else we have assigned? Only this much? Okay, this functional currency is used for a different purpose. Let's say This is in which country? India. Right. Del India is an India country. In India, which is your official currency? INR. So your company code currency for India is INR, but for your legal reporting purpose, let's say you want to submit your reports to your official reporting purpose, maybe in dollar or in any other currency. In that case, you are going to put the functional currency. This will represent your official reporting currency. This is only to meet the country specific requirement, but in this company code you are going to submit or you are going to prepare all your financial reports in some other currency apart from local currency. In such cases you will be using functional currency. I'll explain on the functional currency separately with a different requirement. Okay, these points we'll have to mention in the non-leading ledger. Once non-leading ledger is completed, next thing, currency conversion settings. Next thing that we need to do is currency conversion settings. This currency conversion settings are needed if you are using second currency. Are we using second currency or not?
Yes, sir.
We are using second currency. Our second currency is group currency, US dollar. Now, how this second currency will have to be used? If you see here, first local currency, it has currency type 10, which is your company code currency INR. Now, this company code currency is converted from source currency 00. 00 represents your transaction currency or document currency in SAP. In short, how your company code currency is converted? Based on what currency?
Document currency.
Base
Company code
currency.
currency is always converted based on the document currency or transaction currency. This cannot be changed. This is SAP standard. We have no option to change this. Okay, if your transaction currency is euro, your company code currency is INR, system is going to convert INR from euro. If your transaction currency is Australian dollar, your company code is INR, system is going to convert Australian dollar to INR. Depending on the transaction currency, your local currency is automatically derived. This is straightforward. But on the other side, if you are using any currency apart from local currency, in short, group currency, hard currency, or index based currency, any other additional currency, you can use up to 8 freely definable currencies in S4HANA apart from these two currencies. So total 10 currencies will be used. If you have any additional currency for your company code, you need to decide, you need to inform to the system on what basis the additional currency will be converted. It has to be a fixed rule defined in your configuration setting. If you see here, this source currency type is missing or it is assigned. This is missing. If this is missing, system will not understand how to convert dollars. Right? You have to define in the configuration whether your dollar will be converted from company code currency or from the transaction currency. In majority of the cases, we will be converting group currency from local currency. Okay, to define this currency conversion setting, on the same screen, FINSC underscore ledger, you have an option called currency conversion settings for company code. Do you see this setting? Currency conversion settings for company code. Double click on this setting, enter. When you come to this screen, you will find different options here. Ignore whatever is currently there. Don't get confused by looking at this existing data. Straight away go to new entries. Okay, straight away go to new entries. What is our company code? Del India, put DEIN. Next one, This is your currency type. What is your additional currency that you are using? Group currency. What is the group
30,
currency code in SAP?
30.
Group currency code is 30. If you get confused, just open the drop down. This will give you the list. We are using additional currency as group currency 30. Double click on this. The moment you hit enter, it will display what is the group currency assigned to your client. Group currency is dollar. Now you have to define how this group currency is to be converted, from which currency. Here you will find source currency type for converting this group currency dollar. Open the drop down here. You have two options, right? This source currency is always the list of existing currencies of your company code. One is your document currency, the other one is company code currency. You will have to decide either to convert from document currency or to convert from company code currency. You cannot use both. It is strictly from document currency or from company code currency. In general, which currency we will be using? Document or company code?
Company code currencies.
We will be using a company code currency. Let's proceed with the standard procedure, company code currency only. Enter this. Enter.
Sir, can you tell that again? I didn't understand.
Okay. Now in your company code, we are going to have the additional currency as group currency US dollar. For every
Yes, sir.
transaction that you are posting in your company code, you want the system to update your local currency INR plus equivalent dollar for each and every transaction. For
Correct.
every transaction, for system to update US dollar, how system has to convert? Whether you want system to convert dollar based on the company code currency or based on the your transaction currency. Based on this configuration rule, system is going to follow a standard instruction and it will convert. So in most of the scenarios, we will be using a company code currency.
So we
For you
can
to understand
assign.
this, let's say I am posting a document here. Assuming this, I am posting a document in Euro. Assuming my company code currency is INR. Even though my company code currency is INR, can I post the document in Euro? Possible or not possible?
Possible.
This is possible. But my company code currency is INR. But what my requirement is, I have additional currency called dollar. In this case, how system should convert your dollar? Should system convert dollar considering Euro or considering INR? You may be posting one more transaction, maybe in dirhams, AED. In this case, you want a dollar to be converted from AED or from INR. Because this document currency is not fixed, depending on the nature of transaction, this keeps on fluctuating. Correct?
Correct. Understood.
So we have to define a fixed rule in the system so that the dollar value that you are seeing is constant, because you are going to generate reports at the dollar rate. With dollar currency, you are going to prepare your reports, submit your reports. To do it, you need to have a fixed logic on what basis the dollars are arriving. If you have if you do not have a fixed logic, it is difficult for us to understand why our report numbers are not tallying. Because at the end of the month, what we are going to do, you are going to only check at the closing number with the exchange rate. If I say my closing exchange rate for dollar is around 80 rupees, whatever the value I am getting in dollars, I will be dividing this by 80. I want to see the equivalent amount in my INR. Is that correct? Let me put this in the Excel. This may sound a little tricky, confusing now, but once we are on the transaction, all these confusions will automatically rectified. Okay, you will not have any more confusions on this once we enter transaction posting. Let's say I look at my balance sheet. In my balance sheet, I am looking at assets. Under asset, let's say I am checking my bank balance. My bank balance, I'll say INR, I'll say dollar, because I am generating report in both currencies. Correct? Local reporting and group reporting. Is this correct?
Correct, sir.
If I say my bank balance in INR is around 2 lakhs, considering this, my closing month-end exchange rate MER for the month is 80 rupees. Now, assuming here I am getting, let's say around, I'll put this divided by 80, 2500. If system is giving me 2387, if this is giving 2387, now when I am looking at my balance sheet at the end of the month, my assumption is on your balance sheet or on your P&L, you have to represent what is your month-end exchange rate. Is this correct? If you are showing numbers in both currencies, you must represent the exchange rate on your financials. Considering this rate, we have converted all our dollars or any other currencies. If I put my month-end exchange rate, in short MER, as 80 rupees, what I am going to do, I am going to verify simply. I'll take my total INR, I'll divide this by my exchange rate. According to month-end exchange rate, my 2 lakh INR bank balance is supposed to be 2500. But is this 2500?
No.
This is not 2500, which means is my number correct?
No, it's wrong.
This is not correct. This may be coming from different transaction. Your balance sheet is only the sum of the transaction value. If I would have posted, let's say, some 20 entries, right? Sum of 20 entries is your 2 lakh. Sum of 20 entries is 2387. But according to your month-end exchange rate, your 2 lakh rupees is equivalent to $2,500, whereas at the transaction level, if you do a total, it is coming to 2387. Now, if I submit this report to anybody, to a auditor, to a management CFO, or any one person, what they are going to do, they are only going to do one calculation. They'll take calculator, or they'll go to the Excel sheet, they'll simply put is equal to this divided by your exchange rate, 2500. This is not tallying, number is not correct. They simply reject this, stating your numbers are not correct in group currency. Now, in order to meet this, in order to fix these kind of things, you have two options called foreign currency valuation, foreign currency translation. Anybody heard these two functionalities?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? These two are your month-end activities to meet these requirement. If this is not tallying with your month-end exchange rate, using your foreign currency translation, system will bring this 2387 as 2500. This is using your translation. So that your reporting is correct. So we will be executing these programs practically by taking the numbers like this. I will show you the numbers from the GL accounts. We will execute, we will configure currency translation, currency valuation things, and then we will practically take live examples of our company code, our transactions. We will change the exchange rates. We will see how it is going to affect in our books and what financial entry system is going to post. Why we are posting these kind of entries, we will practically understand. Clear? To meet all these kind of requirements when you are posting the actual transactions, at the beginning we have to define the settings properly. Any setting that we are not defining properly, but we have already posted the transactions, later on it is not possible for us to rectify. Okay, if you are working in a real environment, when these kind of problems are happening, it is not so easy to rectify, because it will be a very big, very high level escalation, because your report is wrong. When your report is wrong, nobody can do anything. Am I correct? Unless you fix the report, unless you make sure that everything is showing the proper number, nobody is with you. Everybody will blame. Everybody will shout.
Hi, sir. I have a doubt here. So during the
Yes.
month-end activity, like if there's a mismatch of the group currency amount, so like which date will be considered for the posting or adjusting the amount during the month-end, sir?
Month and date only.
Month-end date only. Okay.
Month
And
and
if
date
the
only.
amount received in the invoices or something like that, and the month-end date differs, like so there will be a mismatch again, right? For the balancing.
No. When you are doing a month end, there is no regular data entry. You are going to carry out the month end activities only after freezing your regular data entry.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let's say my month end is plus 5 working days. If I say my month end is plus 5 working days,
Mhm.
April closing is on what date?
May, sorry.
30.
May?
May 5.
May. Yeah.
May 5, correct?
Yes.
May 5. Now, I may be freezing the transaction maybe on May 4th, or I may be freezing my transaction on May 5th, depending on your requirement. On May 4th closing or on May 5th closing, you will send out an official communication to all the users stating on 5th May at so and so time, like your official closing time, or your May 5th 12 o'clock in the night, or when the calendar date changes to May 6th. No transaction posting is allowed. No user is supposed to record any transaction in April month once May 5th is completed. You have option to record a transaction in April until May only, until May 5th only. Strictly, no user is going to post any transaction on the April month from May 6th onwards. Okay, once you send out this email to the business users, you are going to carry out your month end activities like posting of depreciation, foreign currency valuation, translation, currency rate updation, or accruals, whatever it is. When you carry out these activities, no regular transactions are posted by the users. If users are posting the entries, you are carrying out month end activities at the same time, there is a huge mismatch. Your closing numbers will go for a toss. Am I correct?
Yes.
So that is why when you are carrying out month end activities, no regular data entry is made. You will freeze the regular data entry and then you will carry out month end activities. Clear?
Yeah. Yes.
Sir, what is the effect of it? Like every day there will be thousands of transactions is happening in a company. So if you're freezing this activity, then is it have any impact on business?
No. When we say we are freezing it, on what date we are freezing? On 5th of May?
Yes.
On 5th of May, you are freezing only April entries. Okay, May entries will go as usual. User is not able to post May entries. Sorry, user cannot post entries with April dates, but user can as usual post the entries with May date. May entries have no effect. Effect restriction will come only when user is trying to select the last month, which is April. Because you have
Okay.
closed officially for April month. Now, in this scenarios, you cannot control every user. Am I correct? All you can do is you can send out an official circular to all the business users or for all the account heads stating on this date at this particular time we are closing the period. April will be officially closed. but still there may be chances some or the other user might pass the entry, because for you to carry out April month, you need to April period open. Am I correct? I cannot do month end by closing April. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Because April month end entries will have to be posted in April only. But I want only these closing entries to be rectified, or these closing entries to be recorded in April, not the regular entries. In such kind of scenarios, the other day we have used one validation for closed period entries.
For specific users.
Right. So such kind of a validations you can put in place, that only your closing team, the team who is going to run the month end activities, only those users can pass the entry in April period. Otherwise, it will not allow any user to record the entry. Clear?
Got it, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now here for currency conversion setting, 1 minute, let me check if the session is active. Okay, this is active. Now this is our dollar. We need to decide our dollar is to be converted based on company code currency or based on document currency. This thing you'll have to decide at the beginning only. Later on, we cannot change this setting. In general, we will be using your group currency conversion always happens from local currency. Okay, your group currency conversion always happens from local currency. Here you are going to put local currency, which is 10. Now clear? Your dollar is always extracted or converted based on company code currency. Any doubt in this? This point is clear?
Yes, sir.
Now you have different exchange rate types in SAP. Considering which exchange rate type you want to convert your dollars. Normally we will be using average rate or standard exchange rate type called as M. Even in real environment, you will be using M only. Here also you are going to use M. Next one, which date to be considered for converting? If you look at this transaction posting, you will have 3 dates. One is document date, the other one is posting date. I may have another date as translation date. This date I may say 15. Now I have 3 different dates: 10th April, 21st April, 15th April. But for these 3 dates, there may be 3 different exchange rates. Possible or not? For these 3 dates,
Yes,
there
sir.
may be 3 different exchange rates. But we have to give a fixed rule in the system, so that only on that date, whatever the rate is applicable, system is going to consider. In majority of the cases, we will be converting based on posting date. What date? We will be using posting date. Here also, let us define translation date is your posting date. This is one-time setting defined at the beginning of your company code creation, and later on we are not supposed to change these settings. I'll take posting date. Clear? In short, your dollar is converted from local currency INR from exchange rate type M for the date considering posting date. Any doubt in this setting? Alright, let me save this.
Sir, one quick question. Sorry to disturb.
Yeah. Ask.
Sir, we'll be converting group currency from the help of local currency, right, sir? That will be the only
Correct.
translation, like valuation will be done. But what in case, as per the client requirement, we have made a document currency as INR and or else some pounds. We will be converting it into local currency. What if may in future he may transact like transaction start transaction with Dubai currency or else Singapore currency? Like how it will be converted at local currency?
First one is your, let's say I'll put document or transaction currency. Second one is your company code or local currency. Third one is your group currency. Now this company code currency is fixed, correct? Because you are defining what is your company code currency in your configuration.
Yes, sir. Both will be fixed, group and local.
This is fixed INR. This is also fixed dollar. Clear?
Clear, sir.
Now this document currency is flexible. This is not fixed. This is subject to change based on the nature of transaction.
True, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? Let's say this may be AED, this may be INR, this may be Euro, this may be AUD, this may be SGD. The list goes on based on your business transactions. There is no limit for it. There is no rule for it. Now, this is the sequence of your currencies. This is always first currency, second currency, third currency. Now, when you are creating a transaction, when you are posting a transaction, you will be giving this input. This is your first input. Okay, and when you are on the first input, let's say you have given AED, system will convert your INR from AED, whatever the currency available in your transaction. Clear?
Yes, sir. That is clear.
This is standard conversion based on document currency. Now on the other side, when it comes to your group currency, this is dollar. But above dollar, I have two currencies. One is my document currency, the other one is company code currency.
Yes, sir.
Now system will get confused here. System will not understand which one I should take. Should I take AED and convert dollar, or should I take INR and then convert dollar? Here, to eliminate this confusion, you are going to maintain this setting. In this setting, you are going to tell the system, whenever you are converting dollar or my group currency, always take currency type 10, which is your company code currency. If you maintain this setting, system will convert this always from INR to dollar. This is fixed.
Yes, sir.
This is what happens.
Sir, this both very well I got understood, but my doubt is how the system knows that local currency to convert with the AED, what the price is currently running and what the SGD price is running. How the system knows to convert local currency for these price transactions. We are doing the currency conversions only with the group currency, right?
Correct. So there is a table called taker. What is the table?
Taker.
Taker. Now everybody is with me, right? Nobody is getting confused. Am I correct?
Correct, sir. Ticker.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let me know if anybody is having any confusion, because we may be talking something which may not be exactly relevant here. So there is a table called taker. Taker table is updated in OB08 T code. You know what is OB08?
Foreign currency
Rate,
updation.
foreign currency conversion.
Exchange rate
Rate
updation.
Exchange rate updation.
I'll go to OB08. This is what stored in the taker table. Now let me go to taker table. SE16N is the transaction code to check the table. On SE16N, pass the table name TCURR. Okay, this is your exchange. This is your exchange rates. I'll put exchange rate type M I'll put from currency, let's say AED, to currency as INR. Clear? I'll just click on execute. Is there any exchange rate value currently in the table for this combination?
No, sir.
No.
No. If there is no exchange rate found in this table, system will not convert the rate, it will throw an error stating there is no exchange rate in the table. For example, let's say this time I'll put USD to INR. If I click on execute, there are exchange rates available for this combination.
Yes.
Is there only one single rate or there are multiple records?
Multiple records.
Multiple
There are
records,
multiple
multiple
records.
dates.
Now when there are multiple records, system is going to get confused which one to take. System should have a clear instruction based on which it will go and pick the rate. For that, on our setting, we have maintained something called, where is it? Here. You have mentioned the translation date, what date to be taken for converting. What is our requirement? Which date?
Transaction date.
Posting date.
Posting date. You told system to convert considering posting date. While posting a transaction, you have 3 dates: document date, posting date, translation date. From these 3 dates, which date system is going to consider?
Posting date.
What is the posting date?
21st April 2023.
21st April 2023. Okay, let me go to Teaker. Here, do you find a date called 21st, what is it, April?
Current date.
21st.
21st.
21st April. In this, do you find a date called 21st April or not?
We don't have, sir.
In this table, valid from, you'll have to look at this column. Do you find it
It is
21st April?
valid for 30th April. From 30th April up to
Right. For
30th April
the
we have it.
correct. For the exact date, do you find a rate or there is no rate on the exact date?
No rate on the exact date. That date.
There is no rate for the exact date. Now your exchange rate is always contains valid from, not valid to. If I show you this, let's say the first one for the April, if I see this is valid from when? 5th April.
Yeah. 5th April.
Now when is the next date after 5th April?
6th April. 7th April.
6th
8th
April.
April. 13th April. Yes.
So this rate is valid only on 5th because on 6th there is another rate. When the calendar date becomes 6, it will take this. If the calendar date becomes 7, it will take 7 because on 7 there is a rate. If calendar date is 8, this will take 8. If calendar date is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 until 12, only this rate is applicable because next rate is applicable from 13. From 8 to 12, this is applicable. You got the logic?
Yes, sir. Got that.
After 8, there is no date until, which means there is no change until 13. Until system finds another record, it will take the latest record for that date. Now from 13th onwards, till when this 82 is applicable? From 13th till when?
30th April. 29th.
From 13th till 29th, because on 30th there is a new rate. Now in our scenario for 21st April, which rate is considered?
82,000. I mean 30th rate.
82 rupees. Correct? System is going to consider 82 rupees. Clear with this?
Yes.
Now let me open one more screen. Okay, here I'll put exchange rate simulator, EWCT. What is the exchange rate simulation? EWCT in SAP. Enter this. Assuming I want to know what is the exchange rate for dollar to INR on 21st April 2023 in SAP. Let's open this.
Sir, my doubt is for how the transaction currency will be converted to either local or group currency. Like transaction currency may vary, depend on the countries. Like however he may transact with the currency. So on that doubt, like we are converting only, we are like making the settings only for the group currency, right, sir? At present.
Yeah, I'll show that. Server is down. Okay. Look at this currency type 10. Okay. Can you change this currency type 10?
No.
Or this is grayed out? This is grayed
It's
out.
great.
Company code currency is fixed. This is grayed out because this is settings defined at global level. These are updated by SAP. These are standard SAP settings. Next, I'll go to global currency conversion settings. In this, if you see this currency type 10, company code currency, this is always updated based on document currency.
Yes, sir.
Right? This is always updated based on document currency. This is updated based on what date?
Posting dates.
This is based on
Transaction date.
transaction date or translation date. Do we have any option to change this? I am already on change mode. Are we able to edit this?
Freeze, sir. Great.
These are frozen, these are grayed out. Now, whenever you record any transaction, let's say, whenever you post any transaction, what you do is you are going to update this much only. Okay, I'll put, let's say, dollar. You are going to update this much only. Your translation date is by default extracted from posting date. Unless you put translation date manually, system is not going to take any value apart from posting date. Whatever the posting date that you have, that becomes your default translation date. Now this translation date is what considered for converting your local currency.
Correct, sir.
Right, so this is fixed, predefined by the SAP, which we cannot modify. If I come back to our, let's say, leading ledger, our company code, DEIN. If I double click on this, enter. Earlier I showed that there is source currency 00, here it was blank. Correct? Before we did the setting, we discussed here it was blank.
Yes, sir.
Right, at that time here it was 00 because this is SAP standard. Your local currency is always extracted from document currency. This is fixed. We have no control on this, and it is not possible to change this logic because your currency sequence is this 1 2 3. This is your first input in the currency.
Correct, sir.
Now the second currency in the sequence is company code. So when your company code currency is INR, let's say here it is AED, you must derive INR based on AED only. Any other option, any other alternative we have?
No, sir.
No other alternative. If I put my transaction in euro, I need to convert INR from euro only. Now is this, please be on mute. Is this fixed now, or I can choose any other option? There is no other option. Whatever the transaction that you are posting, considering that a transaction currency only, my local currency will be derived. That is why there is no configuration for it. For this, there is no control for this. It will work according to the transaction currency to local currency. But when it comes to your group currency is at third position. Above group currency, there are two currencies. You need to define in the system clearly, considering which currency your group currency will be converted. That is why for this one, since this is not system predefined, you have to define a parameter in this SAP. Considering document currency or considering local currency, your group currency will be converted. Clear?
Clear.
Yeah. Now to see this exchange rate simulator, let me put this ticker table and then this one. Now on 21st, do you find any record on the ticker table exchange rate for the same date, dollar to INR? Yes, no?
No, sir.
For the same date, we don't have, sir.
For the same date you don't have, but the logic is from date and then the next from date, the gap is used for the missing dates. From 13 till 29th, 82 rupees is used. Is my understanding correct? From 13th April till 29th April, 82 rupees will be used. Now let me put conversion date as 21st. I'll hit enter. How much system is taking? 82 rupees. Correct? If I change this on 27, how much it should take?
Same.
82 only.
82 only. If I change this to 30th,
87.
the moment I change date 30th, because on 30th there is a record, it has to check 87. Is this taking 87?
Yes, sir.
Right? If I put 6th April, for 6th April, what rate it should take?
80,000. Mother rate.
79.
29.
Is this taking 79?
Correct.
That this is how system is going to take or determine the exchange rates. Clear? Now let's come back to this. Here in currency conversion setting, what we have updated, currency conversion settings for company code. Let me put this currency conversion settings for company code. In this, what record we have updated? Company code, group currency to local currency. Right? In short, our group currency is always converted from local currency, which is your company code currency, based on M exchange rate on posting date. So let me put here group currency dollar is always converted from local currency INR with M rate for posting date. On posting date. Is this statement correct? Is this statement correct, or any correction we need to make in this?
It's
No,
correct
sir.
only, sir. Correct, sir.
Correct, right? Now this is about your non-leading ledger and your currency conversion setting. In FINSC underscore ledger, these are the two settings that we'll have to make. Let me save this record. Go back. Any doubt so far on this non-leading ledger creation and currency conversion settings?
No, sir.
Clear, right?
Sir, a small doubt.
Yes.
Sir, normally in real time, on invoices, they are mentioning exchange rates. Here also, we are maintaining exchange rates. So, which one will pick while processing?
While creating the transaction, if you put exchange rate here, let's say in the system on this date it is 82 rupees. Correct?
Yes.
If I put this as 83, this transaction alone is converted with 83 rupees. If I put at the exchange rate in my transaction level, that exchange rate is final. If I don't put this, system is going to take it from the taker table. But if you put the rate in the transaction itself, it will not refer taker table. But it will give you a message stating the rate that you have given manually, rate that is there in the table are differing. There is a deviation, that percentage also it will mention at the bottom. Let's say what I'll do, I'll put 83 here. Now when I hit enter, there is a message at the bottom. What is that message? 1.22% difference.
Yes.
It is telling that you are giving 83, but in the system for this date only 82 is updated. It is giving a warning message. After seeing this also, if you proceed to create the transaction, that is user mistake. User will be questioned, why did you proceed when you got the warning message? You cannot say I did not see, system did not give any warning message. Correct? If your client says no, it is not working fine, what you are going to do, you are going to show this warning message to your client. After seeing this, if your client says no, we don't want any deviation, system should not allow strictly, but that will not be the requirement. In such cases, you will have to change this warning message to error message. What is this message number? F5212. First two digits is your message class. Last after first two digits, whatever the number you have, that the message number. In which transaction code do we change the message control? In which T code? OB? Anybody remember OBA? What is this T code? OBA5. You'll go to OBA5. What is the message number? F5212. What is the message class in this? First two digits will represent your message class. I'll put F5. What is the message number? Add a new entry. 212. 212. Press error and then hit error. Clear? If you put this and then save it, let's say I'll save it now. Currently, what kind of message is this? Error or warning?
Or
warning.
right? US dollar. I think we have some validation for US dollar. I'll change this AP20. Number range is missing because it is at this position currently. After this it will come and finally it has to come to this field to give this error message. But for AP10 I think we put some validation. AP10 for dollar I think we put a validation active, right? That is where this is coming. Now see the same message coming with error now. Now can I proceed with this incorrect exchange rate or I cannot?
You cannot.
I cannot because earlier this was a warning message, but now we converted warning to error. Only two options. Option number 1, I have to change this to 82 manually. Option number 2, I will leave this blank so that system automatically takes from your ticker table. Clear? Now let me delete this because we just put this for the testing purpose. I am removing this. Any doubt so far on the non-leading ledger creation and currency conversion? Understood?
so for suppose document currency is in the AUD, suppose. So we have to maintain exchange rate for Australian currency also, right?
Yes. Any currency that you're recording in your system, you need to make sure that the currency conversion is maintained in your OB08 or in your ticker table. It should be there because while posting, system is going to check the record in ticker. For that currency pair, if there is a record in ticker, it will consider and then convert. If not, it will give an error message.
Sir, can we change directly in production system that error message?
No, error message is through configuration.
Okay, in development only we have to do.
Yes, you have to do in development. You need to test it whether it is working fine or not. Only then you'll have to transport it.
Okay. Sir.
Okay.
Hello,
All right then.
sir.
Yes.
Sir, 1 minute. I have one doubt. We have in other currency we can post that document. Just 1 minute earlier you have seen that document
Correct.
post. We can try it that with other currency. What will it will reflect the error
If
screen?
currency is not updated,
If we can post in other currency other than USD in this document, what will the error message will come then?
let's say if I put INR, no
Not
message will
INR.
come.
Okay. Any other currency other than INR and USD?
If I put, let's say, AED,
Okay.
if I press enter, it is telling there is no exchange rate in the system for this currency pair. If you see this,
Okay.
you are only giving AED, but system is telling you AED INR rate is missing
Okay.
because this is your first currency document. Your second currency is INR, local currency. So it is converting your local currency based on your base transaction currency AED. In the ticker table for this currency combination, there is no exchange rate.
Okay.
If there is any exchange rate updated, it will consider that date. If nothing is there, then you will get this error message.
Okay. We can maintain more than two currencies in a ticker table, also data.
Yeah, you can maintain. You can maintain on a daily basis also.
Okay.
Okay, it is going to check currency combination, exchange rate, and a date. At this combination, it will find the unique record and it will convert.
That data will be maintained by business users or consultants, sir?
Business user. Your exchange rate is updated by the business user.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Clear?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Clear.
Any other questions?
Just to reiterate, like, so if we enter a translation date, so the translation date will be considered for the exchange rate conversion, else it will take the posting date as standard, right?
Correct.
So if you want to change, or if business requires that the conversion should be considering the document date as such, like, can we change it as per the business need?
That can be changed only for group currency conversion, not for the local currency conversion.
Okay, good.
Okay, for the local currency, it is SAP predefined. We cannot
Okay.
change. But for group currency, it is user defined. You can change whatever the date you want.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So ticker table are using business users only. That persons will be defined.
No, you will be updating the exchange rate in OB08 transaction.
Yes.
Whatever you update in OB08 will be stored in ticker table.
It will pick in automatically, or every day you are entering in the real time, sir. The exchange rate will
In
be
real time,
fluctuated.
right? In real time, most of the companies will not update the exchange rate on a daily basis. They will update the exchange rate on a monthly basis. Let's say all your April transactions will be converted with March closing rate. All your April transactions are converted with March closing rate. At the end of the April, you are going to perform month-end activities.
Yes.
When you perform month-end activities, you have to perform two foreign currency related programs. One is currency translation, the other one is currency valuation. So when your currency translation, currency valuation is happening, system is going to take April closing rate and it will restructure all the numbers according to April closing rate. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? All right, let me stop this recording.